Jeremy, what about life experiences? What do you think are the most useful ones to have for someone who's starting out in the nonprofit space generally, and perhaps specifically in the environmental space?
Broadly in the nonprofit space with life experience, it's people who have done some stuff. And I know that that sounds kind of general, but like I said earlier, working in social change day in, day out requires kind of a resilience and an intrinsic motivation, because no one's ever going to pay you as much as your work is really worth. And so you really have to be motivated by your ideals. That helps. I would say more specific on the environmental front, the real lack in our industry these days is around people of color, minorities, people of color, recent immigrants. And there's a huge push in the broader environmental movement to bring in more folks of that profile, not just because it's kind of the right thing to do from an ethical standpoint, but it's the smart thing to do, because if you really care about durable solutions on the things that we care about, you really need to engage the people who are often affected worst and first, and particularly with climate change. That's going to be poor people.
So you're saying people who have come from those communities, who have lived the experience of whatever that issue is, to come in and help you in terms of bringing about the solutions necessary to fix the problems.
Yes, we actually write into position descriptions now that we've got this set of educational requirements or expertise, or the equivalent in lived experience, which is very much a move in the equity direction.
Isn't that interesting? I have never heard that before. That's cutting edge for sure.
Yeah. Well, in our space, we really have to be, because it's just been such a white dominated movement for so long that if we don't break out of the things that we've always done, we're not going to get any different outcomes.
Absolutely. And just even thinking about where Ecotrust is working, both in the Pacific Northwest and Alaska, you have a lot of Indigenous people who are living in those communities.
That's a huge part of our work. And I would say that when we think about equity here, it is our relationships with Indigenous people that we've always been in a pretty good place. I mean, I've got 3 board members who are they're Canadian First Nation or Native American. They're my bosses, and they make sure that we're focused on the right things. I've got 3 or 4 Native American staff right now. And so on that front, I feel like we're reasonably well positioned. But in this region, by far, the fastest growing demographic is Latino. And we feel really underrepresented, whether it's board staff or partners on that front, to do our jobs.